For decades, Ellen DeGeneres was the face of laughter, kindness, and daytime television. Her infectious smile, quick wit, and signature dance moves made her a household name, and her talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, became a symbol of joy and positivity for millions around the world. But behind the scenes, Ellen's journey has been marked by struggles, heartbreak, and a series of personal and professional tragedies that few could have imagined. Now at 67, the story of Ellen DeGeneres is not just one of fame and fortune, but of pain, loss, and the search for redemption. Ellen's rise to stardom was anything but easy. Born in Metairie, Louisiana in 1958, she grew up in a modest home with her mother, Betty, and her brother, Vance. Her parents divorced when she was a teenager, a painful event that left a lasting mark on her. Ellen has spoken openly about the challenges of her childhood, including the trauma of being sexually abused by her stepfather. These early experiences shaped her sense of humor, which became both a shield and a way to connect with others. After dropping out of college, Ellen worked a series of odd jobs before finding her calling in stand-up comedy. Her unique blend of observational humor and self-deprecating charm quickly won over audiences, and by the early 1980s she was performing on national television. In 1994, Ellen landed her own sitcom, Ellen, which became a hit and made her one of the most beloved comedians in America. But it was her decision to come out as gay in 1997, both on the show and in real life, that would change everything. Ellen's coming out was a groundbreaking moment for LGBTQ visibility, but it came at a tremendous personal and professional cost. She faced backlash from the media, lost sponsorships, and saw her sitcom canceled. For several years, Ellen struggled to find work, battling depression and isolation as she watched her career unravel. The pain of rejection and the weight of public scrutiny were almost too much to bear, and Ellen has admitted that she considered giving up on comedy altogether. But Ellen's resilience and determination eventually paid off. In 2003, she launched The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which quickly became a cultural phenomenon. The show's message of kindness, generosity, and acceptance resonated with viewers, and Ellen became a symbol of hope and positivity. She used her platform to promote charitable causes, surprise guests with life-changing gifts, and spread laughter in a world that often felt divided. For nearly 2 decades, Ellen was at the top of her game, winning dozens of awards and earning the admiration of fans and celebrities alike. Yet, even as she danced across the stage and made audiences laugh, Ellen was fighting battles that few could see. The pressures of fame, the demands of daily television, and the lingering pain of her past took a toll on her mental health. Ellen has spoken about her struggles with anxiety and depression, admitting that the weight of her public persona sometimes felt overwhelming. She poured herself into her work, using humor as a way to cope with the darkness that often threatened to consume her. In recent years, the cracks in Ellen's carefully crafted image began to show. In 2020, former employees and guests came forward with allegations of a toxic work environment behind the scenes of her show. Accusations of bullying, discrimination, and mistreatment rocked the entertainment world, and Ellen's reputation as the Queen of Nice was called into question. The backlash was swift and severe, with sponsors pulling out, ratings plummeting, and the media dissecting every aspect of her life and career. For Ellen, the scandal was a devastating blow. She issued public apologies, promised to make changes, and tried to rebuild trust with her staff and audience. But the damage was done. The show that had once been a beacon of joy was now overshadowed by controversy and pain. In 2022, Ellen announced that she would be ending her talk show after 19 seasons, bringing an era to a close and leaving fans wondering what would come next for the once beloved star. The end of The Ellen DeGeneres Show marked not just the conclusion of a television era, but the unraveling of a personal dream that Ellen had fought so hard to build. For nearly 2 decades, the show had been her sanctuary, a place where she could spread joy, connect with people from all walks of life, and in many ways heal from the wounds of her past. But as the final episode aired, Ellen was left to confront a reality she had long tried to avoid: the pain of public disappointment and the loneliness that comes with losing one's purpose. The fallout from the workplace scandal was more than just a professional setback. For Ellen, it was a deeply personal blow. She had always prided herself on being kind, generous, and approachable, and the accusations of toxicity and mistreatment cut to the core of her identity. Friends and colleagues described her as devastated, struggling to reconcile the person she believed herself to be with the image now painted by the media. The sense of betrayal was profound, not just from former employees, but from fans who had once adored her. Ellen's mental health suffered in the wake of the controversy. She withdrew from public life, rarely making appearances or granting interviews. Those close to her say she became increasingly isolated, haunted by feelings of guilt, shame, and regret. The woman who had once been the life of the party now found herself alone, grappling with the consequences of choices both real and perceived. The laughter that had once been her trademark was replaced by silence and introspection. The loss of her show also meant the loss of her daily routine, her creative outlet, and her connection to the world. For someone who had spent decades in the spotlight, the sudden absence of structure and purpose was disorienting. Ellen tried to fill the void with new projects, producing, writing, and even exploring the world of stand-up comedy once again, but nothing seemed to recapture the magic or meaning of her talk show days. The sense of emptiness lingered, a constant reminder of what had been lost. Compounding Ellen's struggles was the changing landscape of public opinion. In the age of social media, reputations can be destroyed overnight, and forgiveness is often hard to come by. Ellen found herself the target of relentless criticism, online harassment, and even threats. The woman who had once been celebrated for her courage and authenticity was now vilified, her every move scrutinized and judged. The pressure was immense, and the toll on her mental and emotional well-being was severe. Through it all, Ellen leaned on her wife, actress Portia de Rossi, for support. Their relationship, which had weathered its own share of challenges over the years, became a lifeline during the darkest days. Portia stood by Ellen's side, offering comfort, encouragement, and unconditional love. The couple retreated to their home in Montecito, California, seeking solace in the quiet beauty of nature and the company of close friends. For Ellen, the support of her partner was a reminder that, even in the midst of tragedy, love could still be a source of healing. But the road to recovery has been long and difficult. Ellen has spoken about the ongoing battle to rebuild her sense of self-worth and to find meaning beyond the applause of an audience. She has sought therapy, practiced meditation, and tried to reconnect with the things that once brought her joy. Yet the scars of public humiliation and personal loss remain. The woman who once told others to be kind now struggles to extend that same kindness to herself. At 67, Ellen DeGeneres faces an uncertain future. The world that once celebrated her has moved on, and the legacy she leaves behind is complicated, marked by both groundbreaking achievements and heartbreaking setbacks. Her story is a reminder that even the brightest stars can fall, and that the journey to redemption is often paved with pain, regret, and the hope for forgiveness. As Ellen DeGeneres tries to navigate life after the end of her show, she is forced to confront the reality of a world that has changed dramatically since she first burst onto the scene. The entertainment industry, once a place where she found acceptance and belonging, now feels unfamiliar and at times unwelcoming. The friends and colleagues who once filled her days with laughter and camaraderie have moved on to new projects, and the adoring fans who once cheered her every move have grown quieter. For Ellen, the silence is deafening. The loss of her daily platform has also meant the loss of her voice in the cultural conversation. For years, Ellen used her show to champion causes close to her heart: animal rights, LGBTQ+, equality, and kindness in everyday life. She gave away millions to people in need, used her influence to promote social change, and inspired countless viewers to be kind to one another. Now, without the reach of her show, Ellen sometimes wonders if her efforts made any lasting difference. The fear that her legacy might be overshadowed by scandal and controversy haunts her, and she struggles to find new ways to make a positive impact. Ellen's personal life, too, has been marked by loss and heartache. In addition to the professional setbacks, she has faced the deaths of close friends and mentors, people who supported her through the darkest times and celebrated her triumphs. The passing of her former partner, Anne Heck, and the loss of other beloved friends have left Ellen feeling more alone than ever. Grief, once a private struggle, now feels magnified by the absence of the daily distractions that once kept her going. The isolation has also forced Ellen to reflect on the choices she's made and the person she has become. She has admitted to moments of anger, frustration, and even bitterness, emotions that she once tried to hide behind humor and positivity. The pressure to always be on, to always be the source of joy for others, took a toll on her mental health. Ellen has spoken about the exhaustion that comes from living up to an image, and the pain of realizing that even her best intentions could be misunderstood or misrepresented. Despite these challenges, Ellen has not given up hope. She continues to seek meaning and purpose in her life, exploring new creative outlets and reconnecting with old passions. She has returned to stand-up comedy, performing in small venues where she can be herself without the weight of expectation. The laughter of a live audience, though smaller than the millions who once tuned into her show, is a reminder of the joy that first drew her to comedy. Ellen has also taken up writing, working on a memoir that she hopes will offer a more honest and nuanced account of her life, the triumphs, the failures, and everything in between. Ellen's relationship with Portia de Rossi remains a source of strength and stability. The couple has weathered storms together, and their bond has only deepened in the face of adversity. Portia encourages Ellen to focus on the present, to find gratitude in the simple moments, and to remember that her worth is not defined by ratings or headlines. Together they have created a sanctuary in their Montecito home, surrounded by animals, gardens, and the quiet beauty of the California coast. Still, the road ahead is uncertain. Ellen knows that redemption is not guaranteed, and that the wounds of the past may never fully heal. But she is determined to keep moving forward, to keep searching for meaning, and to keep trying to make a difference. No matter how small, her story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a reminder that even in the face of heartbreak it is possible to find hope. At 67, Ellen DeGeneres stands at a crossroads. The world may have changed, but her desire to bring laughter, kindness, and understanding to others remains. Whether she will find her way back into the public's good graces is uncertain. But one thing is clear: Ellen's journey is far from over, and her story continues to unfold. As Ellen DeGeneres continues to grapple with the aftermath of her show's end, and the controversies that shadowed her final years on television, she finds herself reflecting on the true meaning of success and happiness. For so long, Ellen's identity was tied to her public persona. The smiling, dancing, ever-optimistic host who made people laugh and cry in equal measure. But now, stripped of the daily applause and the validation of millions, she is forced to ask herself, who is Ellen DeGeneres when the cameras are off? This question has led Ellen on a journey of self-discovery, one that is both painful and necessary. She has spent more time in therapy, confronting the traumas of her past and the mistakes of her present. She has reconnected with old friends, seeking forgiveness and understanding where relationships were strained or broken. Ellen has also reached out to former colleagues and employees, offering apologies and listening to their stories in an effort to make amends. The process has been humbling, but it has also been a source of growth and healing. Ellen's days are now filled with quieter pursuits. She spends hours tending to her garden, finding solace in the simple act of nurturing life. She volunteers at local animal shelters, using her love of animals as a way to give back to her community. Ellen has also become more involved in philanthropy, supporting causes related to mental health, LGBTQ+ rights, and animal welfare. These acts of service, though less visible than her television work, have brought her a sense of purpose and fulfillment that fame never could. Yet, the shadow of her public downfall lingers. Ellen is acutely aware of how quickly public opinion can turn, and how difficult it is to rebuild trust once it has been broken. She has learned that forgiveness, both from others and from herself, is a slow and often painful process. The fear of being misunderstood or judged still haunts her, and there are days when the weight of regret feels almost unbearable. But Ellen is determined not to let her past define her future. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Ellen's story is the sense of isolation that fame has brought her. Despite being surrounded by people for most of her life, she has often felt alone, unable to share her true self for fear of rejection or ridicule. The pressure to always be on, to always be the source of joy for others, left little room for vulnerability or authenticity. Now, as she steps away from the spotlight, Ellen is learning to embrace her imperfections and to find strength in her vulnerability. Ellen's relationship with Portia de Rossi remains a beacon of hope in her life. The couple has faced their share of challenges, but their love and commitment have endured. Portia encourages Ellen to focus on the present, to find joy in the everyday, and to remember that her worth is not defined by her career. Together, they have created a sanctuary where Ellen can heal, reflect, and rediscover the things that truly matter. As Ellen looks to the future, she is cautiously optimistic. She knows that redemption is not guaranteed, and that the road to healing will be long and difficult. But she is committed to doing the work, both for herself and for those she has hurt. Ellen hopes that in time people will remember not just her mistakes, but also the laughter, kindness, and generosity she brought into the world. At 67, Ellen DeGeneres is a woman transformed by tragedy, but not defeated by it. Her story is a reminder that even the brightest stars can fall, and that true strength lies in the ability to rise again. The journey ahead is uncertain, but Ellen is determined to keep moving forward. One step, one day, one act of kindness at a time. As Ellen DeGeneres continues to rebuild her life, she is learning to find meaning in the small, everyday moments that once went unnoticed. The woman who once thrived on the energy of a live audience now finds comfort in the quiet rituals of home. Morning coffee on the porch, long walks with Portia and their dogs, and evenings spent reading or listening to music. These simple pleasures have become her sanctuary, a place where she can be herself without the pressure to perform or please anyone but herself. Ellen's journey has also led her to a deeper understanding of forgiveness. She has come to realize that true healing begins with self-compassion. For years, Ellen was her own harshest critic, holding herself to impossible standards and punishing herself for every perceived failure. Now she is learning to let go of the guilt and shame that have weighed her down for so long. Through therapy, meditation, and honest conversations with loved ones, Ellen is slowly making peace with her past. Part of this process has involved reevaluating her relationship with fame. Ellen has come to see that the adoration of millions, while intoxicating, is ultimately fleeting. What matters most, she now believes, are the relationships she has built, the lives she has touched, and the legacy she leaves behind. Ellen is proud of the work she did on her show, the laughter, the generosity, the moments of real connection, but she no longer defines herself by her public image. Instead, she is focused on being present, authentic, and kind in her daily life. Ellen's philanthropic work has taken on new significance in this chapter of her life. She has quietly increased her support for causes that matter to her, donating to mental health organizations, LGBTQ advocacy groups, and animal rescue efforts. Ellen has also used her resources to help individuals in need, often reaching out privately to offer assistance or encouragement. These acts of kindness, though less publicized than her on-air giveaways, have brought her a sense of fulfillment and purpose that fame never could. Despite the progress she has made, Ellen still faces moments of doubt and sadness. The pain of public rejection, the loss of her show, and the lingering effects of past trauma are not easily forgotten. There are days when the weight of it all feels overwhelming, and Ellen wonders if she will ever truly be able to move on. But in these moments, she draws strength from the love and support of Portia, her friends, and the fans who continue to believe in her. Ellen's story is a powerful reminder that even those who seem to have it all can struggle with pain, regret, and the search for meaning. Her journey is not one of unbroken success, but of resilience in the face of adversity. Ellen has learned that true happiness is not found in applause or accolades, but in the quiet moments of connection, gratitude, and self-acceptance. As she looks to the future, Ellen is open to new possibilities. She has expressed interest in returning to stand-up comedy, writing more books, and perhaps even producing new projects that align with her values. Whatever path she chooses, Ellen is determined to do it on her own terms, without the need for validation from the outside world. She hopes that in time her story will inspire others to embrace their own imperfections, to seek forgiveness, and to find hope in the midst of heartbreak. At 67, Ellen DeGeneres is still a work in progress. Her life has been marked by extraordinary highs and devastating lows, but she remains committed to growth, healing, and kindness. The tragedy of her story is undeniable, but so is the strength she has shown in facing it head-on. Ellen's journey is far from over, and as she continues to write the next chapter, she does so with courage, humility, and a renewed sense of purpose. As Ellen DeGeneres enters this new phase of her life, she does so with a sense of hard-won wisdom and humility. The journey from beloved talk show host to a figure marked by controversy and heartbreak has been long and painful, but it has also been transformative. Ellen has come to understand that true happiness and fulfillment are not found in the applause of strangers, but in the quiet moments of self-acceptance, forgiveness, and genuine connection. Ellen's days are now filled with the things that bring her peace: gardening, spending time with Portia, caring for their animals, and enjoying the beauty of their Montecito home. She has learned to appreciate the present, to savor the small joys that once got lost in the whirlwind of fame. Ellen often reflects on the lessons she's learned: the importance of kindness, the necessity of boundaries, and the value of being true to oneself, even when the world is watching. Her relationship with Portia de Rossi remains the anchor in her life. Through every storm, Portia has been by Ellen's side, offering unwavering support and love. Their partnership has weathered the pressures of fame, the pain of public scrutiny, and the challenges of personal growth. Together they have built a life that is rich in meaning, even if it is quieter and more private than the one Ellen once knew. Ellen's legacy is a complicated one. She broke barriers as one of the first openly gay women in Hollywood, used her platform to promote kindness and generosity, and brought laughter to millions. Yet, her story is also a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the pitfalls of celebrity, and the human cost of living in the public eye. Ellen has acknowledged her mistakes, apologized for the pain she caused, and committed herself to doing better. She hopes that in time, people will remember not just her failures, but also the good she tried to do. In her quieter moments, Ellen has found solace in creativity. She has returned to writing, working on a memoir that promises to be her most honest and vulnerable work yet. She has also begun to explore new forms of artistic expression, from painting to photography, finding healing in the act of creation. Ellen's willingness to share her struggles, both publicly and privately, has helped to destigmatize conversations about mental health, forgiveness, and the complexities of being human. Ellen's story is a reminder that tragedy and triumph often exist side by side. Her life has been marked by incredible success and devastating loss, by moments of joy and periods of deep sorrow. Yet, through it all, she has continued to seek meaning, to grow and to find hope. Ellen's resilience is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, and her willingness to confront her own flaws is a lesson in humility and grace. As she looks to the future, Ellen is determined to live with intention and authenticity. She knows that redemption is a journey, not a destination, and that healing takes time. Ellen hopes to use her experiences to help others, whether through philanthropy, storytelling, or simply by being a source of support for those who are struggling. She believes that everyone deserves a second chance, and she is committed to making the most of hers. At 67, Ellen DeGeneres is no longer the untouchable queen of daytime television. She is a woman who has faced her demons, endured heartbreak, and emerged with a deeper understanding of herself and the world. Her story is not just about loss, but about the possibility of renewal. Ellen's journey is far from over, and as she continues to write her next chapter, she does so with courage, honesty, and a heart that is still open to love and laughter. The tragedy of Ellen DeGeneres is, in many ways, a reflection of the world we live in, a world that can be both cruel and compassionate, unforgiving and full of grace. Ellen's life reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is hope for healing, redemption, and the chance to begin again.